We have bags for you with stuff in it. There's actually a coupon in there, as we are a very large comic book chain and have 11 stores in this area. No matter where you go, you're probably going to find a Graham Cracker Comics here in Illinois. So, to introduce myself, my name is Sam Murphy, and I actually do not have an extensive background in cosplay. In fact, when I first started doing these conventions many years ago, I had no idea what cosplay was. I thought it was just adults who are practicing Halloween all year long. I went to discover later, as I got to know my friend Mbaku down at the end of the table, that cosplay is so much more. It is about costume design, it's about bringing characters to life, and to me personally, it's also about inspiring future generations to be the heroes that they know that they can be. And so I really have a respect for cosplay and cosplayers and all the work and money and time and resources that go into it. When Chris Mbaku approached me about doing this particular panel and being involved with this group, at first I said, "Are you sure? Do you know that I'm male?" And he said, "Yeah, that's not a problem. That's what diversity is all about. It's about everyone participating and being a part of this community and being a part of cosplay." So it was quite an honor to be able to do this. So now I'm going to turn it over to them to introduce themselves and let you know a little bit about who they are before we go into our question and answer time.
Rock, paper, scissors? Okay, so thank everybody for showing up. My name is Chris English. My cosplay name is Papa Bear. And I started cosplay about 5 years ago, and it's just been one of the best decisions I've made. And also, talking about inclusion, maybe about a year ago, myself and another individual started Chicago People of Color Cosplay Group, and we're all about inclusivity and spreading positivity and just having a safe space for cosplayers of color to go and talk about issues that affect ourselves. So you can check that out on Facebook, thank you. All right, hi everybody, my name is Rob Fury. I am the president, founder, and creator of the Age of the Geeks Cosplay Group, which we have a booth right over there for the second year in a row. I've been cosplaying for only, 4 years now, actually. Yeah, since, hold on, 4 years? It's another 18, okay. Yeah, 4 years, my bad. I'm sorry. It's been a long weekend. But yeah, I've been cosplaying, right? I've been cosplaying for 4 years now. The Age of Geeks have been around for the last 3 years now. And what we do with the Age of Geeks is that we try to provide really fun, entertaining environments that are safe for people to come out and enjoy themselves. So whatever fandom that you are, being a geek, is it anime, comic books, movies, or whatever, you have always a safe environment. And we try to go to different cons, try to bring up the liveliness of cosplay as well. And on top of that, we do charity events, as I know everybody on here, my bad. Everybody on here has done. So we do charity events and everything like that. And we just want to make everybody happy and bring the liveliness of cosplay back into people. Because sometimes people are just like, "Oh, I'm wearing this." I'm like, "Come on, you know you're wearing this," and they're like, "Yeah," and all that. So that's what that we did. Okay. Tag.
Hi, my name is Mogchelle, and I decided I was going to be sleepy today, so I'm Raven. Hi. So I'm going to make myself feel really old here, because I've been cosplaying for 19 years. And that was after I was old enough to drink. What? Sorry.
When in doubt, clap.
It's okay. I like making things. I teach workshops. I've been to conventions. Wow, I can't English. I've been to conventions all over the world, and it's just really awesome seeing like everyone from like everywhere enjoying what we're enjoying this weekend. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jamie Tacit, and my cosplay name is Tacit Monster. I've been cosplaying for about 5 years, and while I didn't really create any special group or anything like that, I have been part of the POC cosplayers group and a bunch of other events and things like that. I love helping out and giving back to the community, and it's been a lot of fun. So
I assume these are introductions. Sorry I'm late, first of all. So sorry. It's not a con unless I'm late. I'm Stephany Stardust. What are we doing? Okay, well, Stephany Stardust. I've been cosplaying for about 4 years now. That's all.
Okay, so I actually have some questions prepared for you guys, so I hope you're ready to answer some questions, because there may be some people out here in the audience who are new to cosplay or don't know what it might involve to become a cosplayer. So I'm going to start at the end of the table with Chris, with Papa Bear, and then we'll work back this way with the questions. And you guys, if you'll notice there on the table, have a copy of those questions too, if you'd like to look ahead on those. So the first one we have is, when did you first start cosplaying? And what was your first costume? What inspired you to start or to choose that particular character?
Okay, so when I started cosplaying, I always was a nerd geek and in all that stuff. And then I decided, a friend of mine convinced me to go to a convention. And I knew that I had to have a costume. So I went to Party City trying to figure out what I was going to wear. And the first idea I had was to do Hellboy because I liked the movie. And so my first costume was a Party City jacket. I had a boxing glove for the right-handed doom, and I didn't have any horns, and I had the wax wig, and I had the cream makeup that I was sweating off all day, but it was a fun time, and everybody was so nice, and I had a good time, so I decided after that I really wanted to dive into it and give it 110%. So after that, it's just been cosplay full go, and I chose Hellboy because, like I said, I liked the movie. I felt like we had the same build, so I felt like I could really pull off the character. So that's really got me going.
All right. The first cosplay that I ever did was in New York Comic Con in 2013, before I officially started cosplaying, and I did Jules Winfield from Pulp Fiction with my best friend Vincent Vega. So I had the big wig, actually had facial hair that actually styled like him. Now I guess I'm too old, I can't grow facial hair like that anymore. That happens. But yeah, I just went literally like most cosplayers do sometimes. I went thrift store diving. Went to Goodwill in New York, and I just got everything, got a suit, got it all bloodied up, got a big old wig, put silly string and blood on the left side because, had to represent Marvin's brains and everything. And that's where I met the first professional cosplayer ever, which was Ivy Doom Kitty. And I just fell in love with cosplay there. So yeah, it was Samuel Mother Jackson that got me fully incorporated into it. So thank you, Samuel. Thank you.
So I guess mine was back in 1999 for Anime Central, before they were in the current convention center in Rosemont. They were just like in a hotel, and the dealer's hall was like the ballroom.
Anime Central existed in 1999.
I told you I was old. It's true. It's true. So like when I first moved to the States, I really didn't have like friends because I just moved here and decided to go to college, that whole thing. And then I went to a comic shop. Then there was this magazine called Animerica. Is anyone here old enough to remember Animerica? Please, someone raise their hand. Thank you. Thank you. So like inside that magazine, there was like a list of the conventions. There were like a little strip of like people like costumes, and I was like, oh, that looks like fun. I want to be a Moogle. So I made like a little Moogle halter top and fuzzy shorts and go-go boots, and I didn't know how to sew a thing. And I I just went to Joann's, bought a bunch of fur, didn't have a sewing machine, didn't know what I was doing. And the lady at the store said, here's this thing called Stitch Witchery. Do you have an iron? I'm like, yeah, I got an iron. My mom gave me my iron when I went to college, so I ironed together my first costume. And I went to Anime Central, and it was super fun.
My first cosplay was, 5 years ago. I don't remember which con it was for, but I know that it was Loki, because I love Loki a lot, especially comic book Loki. Not so big into movie Loki, but yeah, my first one, at least that I built, was King Loki from the Agent of Asgard arc, and yeah.
Okay, so my first cosplay that I did at a convention was Bombshell Harley, and I had no idea what I was doing. It was literally my first time putting anything like that together, and I remember being so nervous. I had actually volunteered at C2E2 one year at superhero stuff, and I saw all these people walking around. I had been into costumes for years, but I never really knew that there was a giant community where everybody dresses up and hangs out, and just your favorite fandoms, and just like everybody is cool with everybody because we all have our thing. And I saw the community and I was really into it, very nervous. I grabbed one of my friends and was like, should we just do it? And we ended up cosplaying together, and it was so much fun. I've met some of my best friends cosplay, and I'm part of the Chicago Bombshells now, and we do that now. Oh, we get to talk about it. But that was my very first official cosplay. I always say that my first real cosplay that was not at a con was Eric Draven from The Crow. I'm obsessed with that movie, and morose vigilantes are kind of my thing. So, and I love gender bending. So he was definitely my favorite one, and if you can't tell, face paint is my favorite thing to do. So definitely The Crow, Eric Draven, and Bombshell Harley.
So I have a question for you guys, actually. Does it count as cosplaying if you were 90s Batman full latex costume for a vacation Bible school at a church? Like, does that count?
Yes, because he can start his own club.
Wow, okay.
Who says you can't have a club with one person?
Oh,
That's true.
Why
Right.
were you dressed up as 60s Batman at a Bible? That's the question here.
Tell us about that.
All right, well, thanks. I feel like I have a little bit of cred now. I appreciate that. So the next question is, what kinds of responses have you gotten from your costumes? And have you experienced any resistance or negativity?
I know that I've seen personally online when you see, oh, it's Black Batman, or oh, it's Black Superman, or oh, look, it's a Hispanic Wonder Woman, and so you'll get that. But the important thing is that you're not Black something, or you're not Hispanic something. You are that character. If you're in a Batman costume, you're not Hispanic Batman. You're Batman. And so you will get trolls like that. So those are some of the things that I've seen. Usually, to me personally, people are very positive, to my face at least. So I'll take it. So personally, people have been very positive. But you hear the horror stories that people go through when they're wearing a costume, and they get that, oh, you're this, or you look good for a Black something, or oh, you look nice for a Hispanic something, or something other like that. So the most important thing is that don't let that discourage you from wearing what you want to wear and being who you want to be. If you want to put on the costume, do it. And don't let people discourage you from doing that.
Yeah, I want to actually piggyback on your sentiments exactly. Yeah, that whole, oh yeah, Hispanic, it really doesn't matter. Like I personally do Superman, and when people are like, oh, you're a Black Superman, and that doesn't exist, I like to be a geek and throw it in their face. I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? There is a Black Superman, and he was actually modeled behind President Barack Obama, so in your face. But But the thing is that most of the time, I've personally haven't experienced a lot of hostility because, like you said, it's to my face, so I don't hear it a lot. But, you know, when I am faced with it, I usually just brush it off because I just take it like this. You want to believe what you want to believe. I will tell you what it actually is, and if you want to change your point of view, you may. It's not my job to change your point of view. I'm just gonna give you the facts. I'm gonna tell you how it is, or possibly how I feel. It's your job to take it the way you want to. And most of the time, I just literally brush off the negativity, go off and see some of my friends, and bring the positivity back up. So I just brush it off like, what did she say? Taylor Swift, that brush it off song? Yeah. Shake it, man. I'm too old, so I'm sorry. You know?
YouTube it. Jeez. We have the technology. So for as long as I've been cosplaying, I actually really didn't get that much negativity until, surprisingly, my Moana costume. And, right? Because someone actually accused me of brown facing for Moana, and I was like, I'm from the Pacific. I'm from Guam. Sorry, I stay inside and read comic books and play video games, so this is like me at my lightest. But that summer I actually went back to Guam and I went to the beach in the sun, and then I was like, sorry, I'm Pacific Islander? Thanks.
How dare you be a Pacific Islander? How dare you?
I'm so sorry.
Get attacked.
Oh!
Rude.
Throw coconuts at him. No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. That's all we got.
Tough, right?
That's all we got.
I actually didn't get a whole lot of hate. There wasn't necessarily hate, but since I'm mixed and I used to have a lot bigger hair, I've been told that my features weren't right for certain characters by people who are no longer friends of mine. But sort of moving forward from that, I did a gender bent Reaper, and I was basically told that I am what's wrong with the cosplay community because I put boobs on my armor. So that's cool. I'm glad that I'm solely responsible for that whole thing. Other than that, it's kind of been, it hasn't been so bad because I'm curvy. I've gotten called fat. Take your pick. I don't really care though. It's kind of, it is what it is. If you put in positivity, hopefully you get positivity back, and that's what I hope for. I've met some amazing people who encourage being yourself and putting in what you have. So that's what's important to me.
I don't know if this is necessarily negativity or not. I mean, it kind of is, but a lot of what I get, because I always try to incorporate some sort of face paint or mask or something, and like I said before, I gender bend a lot. And I remember specifically one time I had a V for Vendetta mask, a V mask on, or a Guy Fawkes mask, and I took it off, and I heard a guy go, "You should just keep the mask off all day, or all night." And I just remember thinking, because he kept going, he was like, "Well, you just have such a pretty face." And I was like, dude, F you. I've gotten that a lot where people are like, "Oh, you should show your real face." And that's not what, I'm not here to impress other people. You know, I'm here because I'm a fan of a character and I want to bring it to life. And again, there's just, the characters that I happen to like are male, and they have awesome costumes and awesome masks. And if I want to do it, I'm going to do it because I feel like it. Other than that, I've gotten the whole, "You need more boobs," and it's like, cool, awesome, and that literally doesn't really faze me just because it's not here nor there. And anybody who comments something like that on any of my stuff, I immediately delete it. I don't even, I don't give them a time of day because that's what they want. They want you to engage with them and to give them some sort of a backlash, because the minute, and I don't know if anybody else has gotten this, but the minute that you push back they're like, oh no, I didn't mean it that way. Oh no, I totally did. You look great. And it's like, okay, all right.
Well, you got, yeah.
I'm gonna remember your face at the next con.
Why are you so mean?
So rude. God, yeah, lighten up. My bad.
French, right?
All right, well, I'm actually going to skip over the third question because I think you guys already pretty well covered that with the second one. So number 4, why do you think it's important to be inclusive as a community to anyone who wants to cosplay?
Inclusivity is important because we all share the same fandoms, we all share the same geekdoms, and it's not my place to tell you what you can and cannot like. And it's not my place to tell anybody what they can and cannot do and how can they express their own fandom. So when you have, like, for this setting, this many people, and we're all here to express ourselves in our fandoms. And so it's important that we all come together and have, cool, peaceful gatherings like this, because this is fun. This is what it's all about, getting together and doing something greater than your individual self. And without inclusivity, you can't do that. Without inclusivity, you can't achieve anything, really. And so if you strip away all your biases and if you step out of your box, you realize you have more in common with a lot of people than you think. And you're more alike your neighbor than you think you are, if you strip away all the barriers that people put up. So, and cosplay is a great way to be inclusive and to express that, because you can be any religion, age, gender, and still love Superman, still love Spider-Man, and that could be the common denominator that you have with somebody. But if you're not willing to embrace that, then you'll miss out on, great friends.
So true. I believe inclusivity in cosplay is vital for the simple reason that there are so many people out there that have no idea what cosplay is, or they see a cosplayer and they always wonder, how do I do that? I want to do that. I want to do exactly what you do. And a lot of times people don't know what to do. They don't know how to go upon it. So it's like when you have people, just any cosplayer, it doesn't matter if you're very known in the community or just starting off, being inclusive and just saying, hey, yeah, I can help you out. I can teach you some tricks about cosplay, or I'll explain it to you. That it makes people feel good. And especially in the political climate that we're in right now, that literally our country is being divided just politically and by views and everything like that. We can come together no matter where you're from. You could be from overseas, you could be from down south, you could be from New York, and still come together and share in this one love, which is cosplay. It could be anime cosplay, it could be video games, movies, whatever. Cosplay brings people together. It brings the geekness, the geekdoms and the nerddoms together, and coming together and helping each other out, especially when you see someone on the con floor and they're exhausted. You say, hey, do you need help? Do you want water? You might not know that person, but because you see a fellow cosplayer on the ground, you're gonna help them. And it's a brotherhood and a sisterhood, a fraternity or a sorority, what you want to say, that everybody's welcome to. And once you're in, you're basically in for life. You have friends that you make for life.
And actually, I think I'm gonna have to piggyback off of that because I mean, when I first moved here, I really didn't feel included. I didn't know that there were other people that liked playing video games or Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. But when I started going to conventions, I felt like I made friends. I was included. But also watching it evolve from the late 90s to now, the inclusivity has actually increased. Some of us might not feel or think that way because the internet has really loud negativity buttons all over the place, and it's like, hey, look at me, I'm negative, and you're like, no. It's like when I first started, there was not as much of the internet unless you were very patient for the 56K modem to go. Yeah, I know who's as old as I am now. I know. I saw all your faces. So some people would be exclusive and be like, well, I made this and I'm not going to share how I made it because it's my trade secret. So that part's actually changed a lot over time, and it is so much more fun to craft with friends anyway. So yeah, bring people in. People are like, hey, well, I want to do what you do. I don't look like the character. No one looks like the character. No one looks like a fictional comic book character. That's just unrealistic. And did we care about that in Halloween? No. And it was fun, right? Yeah. And that's what this is. This is fun. So bring more people. One of us.
Yeah, I think inclusivity is important. I mean, there's no other community where I felt like I could be openly non-binary trans, where I can be queer, where I can be what I am, and feel safe just saying that over a microphone right now. And aside from that, to go off of what they've said, I mean, there's always somebody who can help. There's always somebody you can turn to. You make so many friends just walking around in costume, and just you bump into somebody who has a cool looking costume, and there's a friendship right there. It's amazing. And then the other part of it is, look at all of you in the audience. All of you or a good portion of you are cosplaying, and that's amazing. And all of you come from different parts of the world, and you come from different backgrounds and everything, and that's amazing. I mean, there it is. There's the proof why it's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go off of that as well. It's this is a safe space, like you said. We walk in here and we know we're going to be judged, but not judged, if that makes sense. Like it's always awesome because whether you spent 5-10 minutes on a cosplay, you just threw it, put a cosplay together from your closet, or you spend months on a cosplay, you're gonna walk in and people are gonna respect you because you got up and you decided you were gonna put yourself out there and you were gonna go into a convention, you were gonna walk into a place with thousands of people and just be yourself. Or be a character, be whoever you want to be. And people are going to walk by you, maybe take a picture of you and be like, that's awesome, and keep walking. And I think safe space is the best way to put that. And it's a way to kind of get away from everything else, like Rob said, where there's so much garbage going on in the world right now that we can all have a good weekend together and not think about politics, not think about anything, but we can just all band together, have a good time, have a beer while you're Superman, it's awesome. And, the more inclusive that it is, the more people that we get here and the more friends you make. And like Rob said, dude, man, you make friends for life. I met some of my best friends here. So it's extremely important to be inclusive.
I did like that you mentioned having a beer with Superman because there was a big fallout with DC a few years ago with a cover that was released where Superman was having a beer with John Kent, and they had to recall it and reprint the issue with the soda in his hand instead. So it's funny you made that reference to that.
Let him have a beer.
Let the man have a beer. Let the man have a drink.
So we talked a lot about inclusion and sensitivity. Kind of building on that a little bit, when you consider how you're going to put your costumes together, what guidelines do you use to be respectful of other people in regard to things such as race or culture or gender?
To me, a lot of it is personal too, to how you feel. But to me, you can do whatever costume you want within reason, as long as you're not brown facing, black facing, race facing, things like that. Like, you don't have to put on dark makeup to be Storm. You can just be Storm as who you are, and there's no need to contour and do all these things just to try to look black to be a black character. You can be white Black Panther. You don't have to, it's not a big deal. People know who you are. So for me, race facing is a thing. Also too, and this came up recently, you don't have to wear a Nazi symbol to be the captain of the Red Skull. Yeah, Indiana Jones or Hydra. Yeah, thank you. So there's no need to wear a Nazi symbol to be Hydra. People get who you are. They get to see the uniform. You don't have to do that. You don't have to spread the hate speech. And I get, it's cosplay, it's costume. No, it's hate speech. So there's no need to do that. So for me, you can be who you are. There's no need to change your race. There's no need to wear Nazi symbols. People understand who you are. And this is cosplay. It's not like historical accuracy weekend, so there's no need to wear a Nazi patch. So there's no need to spread the hate speech. So those are like my two main things. And plus, talking about inclusivity, when you do that, you're not being inclusive. When you wear hate symbols, that's not being inclusive. And that's what cosplay is all about. So that's my soap.
Word.
A fantasy character like an elf or Raven. All aliens.
Would you say imaginary races then, maybe?
Yes, demons are fun.
Aren't reflective of real races, if you will? Okay. Or ethnicities, rather.
That's all I have. I mean, it's kind of already been said. Don't do blackface. Don't do. I mean, yeah. Don't do that. Don't wear swastikas. Please stop doing that. Actually, and it's basically what it boils down to, though, is being respectful of the people around you. If it doesn't feel right, if you're asking, is this okay? Might not be. Listen to people if they're telling you that. I've seen so many arguments where people are just being called too sensitive when somebody's doing something blatantly racist. Now, actually, last year, there was this guy walking around in a full SS uniform here at C2E2, and it scared me, because it was like, I wasn't expecting that at all. And it's like that kind of thing where you don't feel comfortable seeing things like this. If you wouldn't feel comfortable, just don't do it. And if you do feel comfortable, then I kind of wonder about you a little bit, but, yeah.
Yeah, everything they said. If you have to question it, you probably shouldn't do it. That's kind of what I always tell people. I had somebody once who, I think the character was black, but not African American. It was like from a different universe. I can't remember who it was, and they were like, "Well, should I paint myself black?" And everybody was like, what if people don't know who you are? The thing is that, if you're walking down the street, you're not in C2E2 yet, people don't recognize the character. They don't know. And you can offend a lot of people that way. And I know I've gotten it before where it's like, you're too sensitive. And no, it's, I just have morals. I don't want other people to feel like crap, when they're walking down the street and they see something or, it's a big topic, and if we went deep into it, obviously we'd be here all day. But it's something where you have to be aware of it, and if you're not aware of it, you need to Google something, turn on the news or something, So just if you gotta question it, maybe ask a couple people, some close friends that aren't going to defriend you for asking, and just don't do it.
I think the general consensus of cosplay is about building people up, and about building this is in the most recent Black Panther movie, building bridges to people rather than walls. So we know cosplay is empowering, and in reality, the few times I've had the opportunity to put a costume on, I can tell you there's no greater joy than seeing a kid or child who really thinks that you're that character, and it really makes them feel good about themselves, and it makes them want to then, in turn, grow up to and be a better human being. How would you say cosplay has been personally empowering for you guys?
I would say that's kind of changed for me a little bit. Initially, I put on the costume and it was completely self-serving, and it was like, hey, look at me and I feel awesome, being totally honest. But now it's more like inspiring other people. So when people say, hey, can you show me how to do this? Or I saw your costume, can you teach me how to do that? To me, that's my empowerment. To be able to just spread that love for cosplay that I have, to give it to somebody else. And I have no problems telling people how to do anything, because somebody had to tell me. So I try to get back in that way, and that kind of empowers me. Now with that said, it still feels cool to be in Baku and sit up here and do the whole thing. So it's still a cool thing, but as I've gotten, as I've done more and the years have gone by, I found it more satisfying and more empowering to actually give knowledge to others and give back in that way.
Word. Just keeping it trend. But how cosplay has been empowering for me. Jeez. Like the whole time I'm like, while you're talking, I was trying to think of this question because it's a very hard question. I can say that wearing a costume, wearing and putting it together with your bare hands, piecing it, the scars, from heat glue. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right, the cosplayers, they're all shaking. Yeah, yeah. Like that is empowering to know that whatever you created, that it's from you. That's a very empowering feeling. It's like a cook. Everybody here, to some extent, you cook. When you make, it's the difference between when you're ordering Chinese out in a takeout and when you take everything from scratch, you build it, and you have that fantastic meal. It might not taste as good, but it is still good. And being able to do that and doing costumes and like my Lando right now, I don't do it that much, but when I do it, I get people smiling and laughing, and that is some of the best feeling ever. Having a little kid come up to you and say, "I love you." Well, not like that, but you know what I'm saying. And that feels so good. Like there's probably not another feeling better than that while walking at a con. Like you can see your peers say, "Oh yeah, great costume," and it means something. But when you see a child's eyes just light up, you're like, "Oh!" That is truly empowering to me.
I guess for mine, so I'm almost 39. I also have 2 kids. And are there any moms in the audience? Okay, so mom, sometimes you have those days where you just don't feel super pretty, right? Cosplay helps make me feel pretty. And that helps me feel good. Also, for my friends that have known me for a while know that I'm really a bit on the shy side when it comes to like approaching people. But once I get to know you, I'm just like, ah! It's a bit crazy, and it's a roller coaster. I'm so sorry to my friends who I'm staying at their place right now because I'm like increasing the level sometimes. But the cosplaying has also helped me get over some like little social anxiety things. So it helped me feel like I had a little bit more courage to come out and like talk to people and make friends. And I like friends. I'm just trying to walk up and make my own. So the costume kind of like, it acts as a lure. It's like, come be my friend. And I promise I'm not going to give you bad candy. I have good candy. I have good tasting candy. And not creepy, right? I did not mean for that to sound creepy. I'm so sorry. Okay, on that note.
Okay, well. Right, empowering. That's what it was. Well, yeah. I mean, for me, it started out as once I started building my own stuff. It was awesome because people liked my work, and little kids were blown away. If it was something like Loki or the Five Nights at Freddy's builds that I've done, where kids are like, "Whoa, that's Freddy." That's always really amazing to me. Being told that I've inspired someone is also really touching for me. And then the other part of it is sort of related to cosplay, but also sort of not. I did my first cosplay boudoir shoot last year, and that was also my first ever boudoir in general. And it was a huge boost for me in terms of appreciating what I look like, especially as somebody who has issues with body image for multiple reasons. And it was just, it's been just each year learning more and building more and showing off more what I can do. It's a huge boost for confidence, and I'm also pretty shy, so it's kind of helped with that too. So.
So I know me personally, growing up, I had a lot of issues, body issues. I was very quiet and so on. And doing my first cosplay at a convention, I was ready. I was like, I'm gonna get picked apart. I already know guys are mean, whatever. And I wasn't. And everybody was like, this looks so good. It's so awesome. And immediately I was so receptive to that as a female, I don't know if males go through this, but as a female, you get ready to go out, you go out to a bar, club, whatever. And guys don't compliment your outfit. No, they compliment your features. They compliment you. You're so hot, you're sexy, you're this, you're this. And I noticed in cosplay, it's, how long did that take? That jacket looks awesome. That looks awesome. The paint looks great. And it's like, oh my God, thank you. You noticed. So that builds you up in a completely different way. Where you're just like, my hard work is being noticed. Thank you. And it gets you hyped to wear it again, to do something else. And I think that's the biggest empowerment that I felt wearing cosplay.
Well, that brings us to our last question, which kind of ties in with the last one as well. What advice for those of you who are out there who are a little curious today to come check out this whole cosplay thing, maybe thought about it for a long time, aren't certain about it, what advice as seasoned veterans would you share with them about how they could get started in cosplay?
I think we both wanted to comment on that seasoned veteran comment. I'm just gonna say, I'm a cosplayer, not a seasoned veteran. I'm just a geek that loves dressing up.
Thanks for making me feel old.
We love you, Sam.
I'll put a curse on
We
you.
love you, bro. I would say anybody just starting out to don't quit. Like, don't be afraid to mess up because you will. Don't be afraid to build something and just throw it in the garbage because you hate it, because you will. And that's okay. That's part of the process. It's okay to make something and then look at it. And the more you look at it, the more you hate it. It's part of the process. But don't quit. Finish it. Start another one. Don't be afraid to screw it up. Battle damage. Okay, that's a big one. Haptics and everything is it's just battle damage. So just keep going. Also, too, reach out. Like cosplayers like us, we love to talk specifically about cosplay. So if you have questions, don't be afraid to hit us up. Don't be afraid to tap us on the shoulder. Hey, how do you do this? Or how did you make this? How did you come up with this? Because we love to talk about this stuff. Like, it's bad. It's all the time. So don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's what we're here for. So as I said, reach out to other people and never quit. Always keep going. And it's okay if you don't like something. It's part of the process. But don't give up.
Do it.
Word. No, but I absolutely agree with him. Advice for people that are just trying to get in cosplay: do it. Just like Nike says, just do it. Stop making excuses why you can't do something, because that is probably the biggest blight out of every cosplayer's repertoire. I want to do this, but eliminate the word "but" from your vocabulary and replace it with "can." I can do this. I can make this scarf. I can make this. I can do that. Because once you have that positivity in your mind and you eliminate every negative word from your vocabulary while you're building, you can build amazing things. And just like he said, there is such a big community of cosplayers in the Midwest. Not just Chicago, but in the Midwest, period. Go on Facebook, go on social media, contact them. If you can't make a gun or a prop, you have people like Papa Bear, you have people like HDC, you have people like James Wolfgar, Cause Awesome. They make props. They are good at what they do. Reach out to them. Get a prop from them, maybe get some pointers from them, so you can build that prop the next time. There's no such thing as you cannot do it as a cosplayer. It's, all right, that did not look right. I'm gonna redo it, or I'm content with what I have now, and there's always room for improvement. Because almost every cosplayer in this building has had a first draft of their costume, an improved draft of that costume, and then their final draft where they're like, I'm happy with this. So mistakes are to be made. We are human. You're supposed to make mistakes, but you're geeks, and being a geek means you're passionate. Don't ever let that passion fade.
Yeah, definitely don't make excuses. Don't make excuses as to why you can't. I've actually had some people say, well, I just don't have the room to store anything. It's okay, you don't need room to store anything. One year I was in a competition with a group of my friends, and we had this really large cosplay thing with motorized swords that kind of did a thing. They were plastic swords, but they did a thing, and it was humongous, and it was a pain in the butt to get to the convention center. So we decided that we were going to hand out cookies and brownies to people that wanted to meet us back out in the loading dock to destroy it. So we just went Office Space on it, and they were like, see, no excuses. We don't need to take it home. There are no excuses. Just have fun and do it. We're just like, we're being at the thing, and it was amazing. Good stress relief. Oh, yeah. It's great stress relief. Cosplay is the best stress relief for me.
Yeah, if you want to start cosplaying, do it. I mean, you'll learn from your mistakes. Don't let it get you down if you make one, because you will. Even cosplayers who have been doing it for a very long time and they have all these amazing skills, I mean, they're still learning. You will always still be learning. Even if it's 30 years from now and that's how long you've been cosplaying, you will still be learning. There's always going to be new technology, new techniques, new materials, everything. We're all still learning. So just get out there and do it, and I guarantee you will be proud of yourself.
I would say never scrap one. If you are, if you've gotten halfway through it and you're like, I'm going to start all over again. Please don't. Keep it, because you're going to regret that. And the thing is show up with, a half-made cosplay. Cool. Maybe you can get some tips on how to finish it. Maybe you can meet some people who you wouldn't have otherwise met. It's definitely something that takes a lot of patience if you want to get that in depth with it. It is a great stress reliever, but it's also stressful. There's plenty of tutorials online, and they're so easy. There's so many things where you're like, why didn't I think of that? And again, grab any cosplayer, I know we're all more than happy to help anybody with anything. Just grab anybody that you see something, you see a prop, and you're like, how did you make that? If they're not willing to share that with you, find somebody else who is. Just, keep on walking. That's pretty much it. Just don't quit. It's fairly easy to start. Just do it. Grab a friend. Everybody wants to cosplay. Anybody who says they don't want to cosplay is lying to your face.
Real quick, don't let your body type distract you from getting into cosplay. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. It doesn't matter what race you are. Don't let that deter you, okay? You can be a 6'4", 250-pound Spider-Man. Nobody cares. You want to be Spider-Man? Be Spider-Man. Okay, you'll have the same fun, all right? So don't let your body image influence who you cosplay or how you cosplay or anything. Don't be afraid to take a costume, even though it's not physically what's represented in media, and just wear the costume. All right, that's another part of getting started. Don't be afraid to just jump in. Do you, be who you are. Doesn't matter your body type.
I just have one last thing as well. Starting off in cosplay, I know a lot of people start off during Halloween. It is okay to buy your costume, people. Don't be afraid to go on websites, go to Party City, even if you want to go to Party City and get a costume. Start somewhere. You need a start point. So when you get to let's say more experience level where you can make all of your costumes bit by bit, then great. But yet again, if you have no skills or you think you don't have any skills, you can easily go buy stuff, make it yours. And as cosplayers, though, I know I buy some of my stuff too, but I alter it to make it fit me and do me. I make it mine. So yes, you can go out and buy a costume. It is not shameful. Don't let anybody shame you on that. Unless it's like, nah, unless it's nothing. Don't let anybody shame you. You can go out and buy it and be happy at the end. At the end of the day, be happy with what you're wearing. because no matter what, how many negative thoughts you get, you get in your mind because people are just constantly negative, throw all of that out the window and say, I look awesome in what I'm wearing, and that's all that matters.
Well, and make sure you break in your shoes at least a week before the convention. So you don't hate your day 2 hours in. Because you're here to have fun, right? Break in your shoes.
If you don't, you're gonna have a bad time.
Okay, well, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about out of time. So if you do have any questions from enjoying this panel today, please head over to the cosplay area right over here. And feel free to approach these ladies and gentlemen and to ask them what everyone asks them about getting into cosplay and participating in cosplay. I also want to, again, thank you for coming today. Also, before you leave the show today, if you have the chance, go check out Graham Cracker Comics, 11 locations throughout Illinois and one in Wisconsin. Anything you could want or need comics and merchandise-wise, we most likely have it there, and if we don't, it probably doesn't exist. So, thank you all for coming today. If I could have my friends in the back stand up. They have some swag bags for those of you who are here today for the panel. Supplies are limited, so we'll start with the people up here in the front who were here the entire time and work back that way until we run out. So again, thank you all for coming today and have a great rest of the convention.
No, that's just, that literally is just
Oh no, I'm moving.
Just gonna set this on your chair right here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I got it.